Hi there, what up? I am Bruno Albouze. Today guys, I'm going to make Paris-Brest. So many of you guys have requested this cake. No wonder why. It's one of the most delicious. For the history, this cake was created in 1910 by pastry chef Louis Durand upon request from the organizer of a bicycle race between Paris and Brest. The cake has a large ring shape representing a bicycle wheels. However, it can be found in different shapes, as some pastry chefs get a bit too creative sometimes into square, for instance, which to me looks more like a flat tire. Have you ever tried to mount square wheels on your bicycle? If so, you should recycle it. Let's get to work. For the praliné, toast your almonds and hazelnuts over the stove or in a 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 180 degrees Celsius oven for about 10 minutes. Then rub into a kitchen towel. The steam created will peel off the hazelnuts, not the almond though, but that's fine. For the caramel à sec, I am using pearl sugar, but granulated or powdered sugar work just fine. In a very hot skillet, cook half of the sugar until it turns brown, then add the other half. I prefer using caramel à sec rather than wet caramel because it comes to the right color so quickly. However, and for a much larger batch, I will make a wet caramel. Shape caramelized nuts into a block and flatten it. Let cool completely and break into pieces. You want to save some for the garnishing and blend the rest of it. You can actually double the recipe and you'll have these extra bars for treats. It is so good. In order to obtain this luscious hazelnut almond paste, praliné, when the blade is running, throw in the caramelized nuts and blend for 5 minutes or until it turns into paste. Pate choux, bring to boil. Milk, water, sugar, salt and butter. When it boils, remove from the heat and stir in flour. Turn heat back on and cook over medium-high, stirring constantly until mixture pulls away from the sides and film forms on bottom of pan, about a minute. If you choose to make pate choux by hand, let cool mixture a few minutes before adding the eggs. If it is too hot, the eggs may cook rather than being incorporated, and you will end up with dots. In fact, a stand mixer works so much faster, so you won't have to deal with that kind of issue. Next, pipe a thin ½ inch, 1.2 cm thick ring of dough just outside the 6 inch, 15 cm circle that is drawn on the parchment paper. Pipe another ring outside the first ring, making sure though that the rings of dough are touching. Pipe a final ring of pate choux on top, along the center seam between the first 2 rings of dough. Dust with powdered sugar and coat the wheel with lots of sliced almonds. To remove excess, shake it off, but be careful, hold the parchment paper, otherwise you are in trouble. Bake this wheel of fortune at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 180 Celsius for 40 minutes. This wheel will serve 8. For the individual cakes now, use a narrow open star pastry tip and pipe out 3 inch, 8 cm diameter rings and follow exactly the same principle. The crucial thing when you deal with Paris-Brest is that you do not want to burn the sliced almonds. Now, the praliné mousseline. Bring milk to a simmer. Meanwhile, beat egg yolks with sugar to blend and add flour and cornstarch. Turn off the heat and whisk hot milk gradually into the yolk mixture. Then return custard to the stove and cook for 2 minutes on medium-high heat, whisking constantly. Then turn off the heat and whisk in 1/3 of the butter. Then transfer the custard onto a baking tray lined with plastic wrap. Then cover the custard with another piece of plastic wrap in contact. Then let cool to room temperature and chill. Once chilled, beat custard on high speed until smooth. Then mix in the hazelnut paste, the praliné, and add the remaining room temperature butter and beat on high speed for 5 minutes. Praliné mousseline done. Next, split the pastry shell in half horizontally, then pipe the praliné mousseline into the hollow center of the shell twice using a medium-sized open-star pastry tip. Add some crushed caramelized nuts or nougatine leftovers from your croquembouche project. Do likewise with the individual Paris-Brest. To get the full recipe, go to brunoskitchen.net. I hope guys you have enjoyed this great French classic dessert. Please subscribe, like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter, Instagram and Pinterest. Enjoy! Ah, this is France right there. Oh.